a dream. I'm here for another video. This will be my lining video for non-tablet users and everything else. So let's just get down to it. I do have a little trivia here that I did for my Take a Guess for a sketch. So sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. So if you hear me moving, that's why. So here's that. And this is what I'll be lining for both this video and my tablet lining video. And I'll also be coloring this on a video. It won't go into a lot of details, but I'll get to that all later. I did kind of just woke up, so I have like kind of a morning voice. So I'm going to be using this guideline I made a while back to help people. So step 1. Step 2 is for coloring. Step 1, lining with Linework Layer. No tablet needed. Or some people call it, like, have it as like the Victor layer, which is pretty much the same thing. So, like, just get down to it. I always add like good tips when I do these, just so when I give them to people, they're like not clueless or anything. If they want to look up stuff on their own, they could. If you look up on YouTube, you can find more good explanations for our tool. Example, how to use Linework Layer for sais. So if you want to look up how to use this tool, like like I said, how you use like one of the brushes or the stabilizer or anything else. I do have this link that shows all the tools and everything. I'll put this link in the description below too. It's just a good step-by-step, little brief about like basic tooling and like understand what they do and everything else. So that's always kind of nice. Alright, now this might be a little bit slower than just easy 4 steps that you see here because I had to line everything, which shouldn't take that long. But here what we got. Step 1, click on the Linework layer, and this is the first step to liner. So I have a little screenshot here. I'll click it open for you guys so you guys can also see it. So I'm showing you where you see it. Everything. So right here. Alright. So it's right here. And mine says Linework Layer on this one too. So I like to make stuff in folders. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I made a new Linework Layer. Step 2. Picking what you want to line. You can hold Control and you can edit each point, making the line move to like direct control, curving them how you want them. Blue is for line makes corner and points. Red for curve tool, the curve tool, curve make round points. Line is line blue, point red. Sorry, just to be so we're not doing this pretty much. Alright. So I'm talking about the 2 different ones here because you can use the line tool and the curve tool, which you can find over here when you make your new Linework layer. You'll always have these 2 over here. You can have a curve tool or Linework tool. I personally always had it on like the line tool, but if I wanted to make like a perfect circle, I'll have it on curve tool. But because I usually make my own curves, and I'll show you that in a bit. So what I'm explaining here is that, you know, And I'll show you this. So here's the line. It makes point when I go, but if I switch to a curve, all my points become round rather than straight. Before they were jagged and now they were smooth. So that's why it's kind of like makes it easier for yourself, I guess. But I don't know. I do it my way and everything else. I'll show you that in a bit. And what I'm explaining here is that when I do stuff, when you want to learn how to delete and take away a line or take away a point, you have to know which one which. So here is a line, and here is a point, and here is another point. So when you hold control, you should have, you see the green or the yellow. The yellow are where you start and finish. The green is like everything else in between for points. But when I go over it, you can also see the line connecting them. So I could go over that and I can make another point. And there you go, I have another point right here. And I could also move other points that I already have. So and that's just pretty much what I'm explaining. So if you ever want to edit this, which is the edit tool, you could go down and like delete, which is usually what I use it for. Delete, and you could delete a point, or you could just delete a whole entire line, which is good to know. But alright, so I'm gonna stop at number 2 and get some line work done. Just so, because the next one talks about pressure. And I can't really talk about that if I don't really have any lines. I'm just testing out how big I want my lines. You may hear me clicking, and I'm so sorry if that's like super annoying to some. You can press enter too, and that will end your point or end your line, and so that's just kind of easier. I would like to add on lines and everything. Some people will understand if they're errors. They like to add, like copy every little detail and everything else. And I, for one, think that's a bad idea because then you're just not going to look very good. If you copy every single line, then it's just not gonna look that great. And if you make a lot of points, like as you see, I usually have like 3 or 4 points depending on how long the stroke is gonna be and everything else. But the less points is better just because it's more under control, especially when you want to turn around and delete something. It's not so bunched up or anything else. So that's always kind of nice. But that's just my opinion too. You always will find your own style with everything. Make a complete loop around. Alright. So now I got the hair, or part of the hair done. And I'll go back and start talking about number 3. Step 3, once you get your lines done, you can change the pressure of the point. Go to step 2 for more detail. I'm just telling you to go ahead. If you want to understand where the points are, that's the whole reason why I explained that too. Lines that stick out make everything more realistic, everything. Remember not to do just one line, use as many as you feel like. Just pressure tool usage. 0 is the smallest, while 100 is the biggest. So here, it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm just taking the very last point that you see that are sticking out here and making it smaller. And I usually go all the way back to 100. And sometimes, even if you do that, you sometimes will be like, oh, well, the next point is like, kind of like this one right here. How this one is super thin, this one's not. Also, you can also do like this one kind of thing too. So, I should add another point in here too. So you could kind of add that feel of like pressure, like you're actually drawing with a tablet and everything else too. So it kind of just makes it easier, and you can also do it in the middle of it too. So like with hair, you can do that right in the middle, because that's a big long stroke that doesn't really need to be right there and everything. And like this one too, you can make that a little bit smaller. Doesn't have to be that big. And I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things where I want this little flip down here. And you need to make sure I thought, my bad. This is what's happening when I get into art stuff. I end up doing my own thing. Ah. I mean, don't feel bad if you don't get it on the first try either, because as you can see, I'm still changing and everything else. It's not like you can have to be perfect or anything. Just add as many as you want and make it wherever. I mean, like I said, and that's kind of just what I said, like don't add too many or anything. That's just my personal opinion. I don't like doing it, because if you add a ton, and then when you want to do your pressure, you're not going to be able to find the points that you should be able to do your pressure with. So it's just going to make it harder on you. But this is one of the steps you can do for it and everything else, and make it a little bit easier on yourself. So that's pressure. And like I said, if you press enter, that will end your point and everything. I already talked about the edit tool, and how that if you end up saying, oh, these lines are too I don't know. I'm on the biggest side. I'm gonna say too small then. These lines are too small. You can always make them bigger. And yeah. And we even keep that pressure at the end too, if you already did. So that's always kind of nice that you can end up changing your pressure, your thickness after a while. And there's other sizes too. So, but we'll only change that one stroke you did. So if you think about on your tablet, if you have one, or if you understand that, when you think about a pen, when you make a line, that we call a stroke. If you put it down and pick it up, that is one stroke. So every time you put a point down, your starting point, and you press enter, your ending point, that is a stroke. So that's what I mean by stroke. Alright, and I guess we'll go to the last step. And this will be, I just actually explained that. The extra step, wait, we'll pick what side you want of the area too. So I actually just explained that. So I'll actually speed up the rest of this video and everything. So just so you don't have to sit here in silence watching me line this and everything else. But just so you watch it and everything and watch what I do and all that stuff. Just to get a better understanding. You can always ask questions in the comments below. I'll answer every single one with them, just because I don't really have a lot of followers right now. Not trying to dumb myself down or anything. I honestly don't. But I honestly will try to answer all your questions and work with you with everything. If you have anything you want to see done, let me know and I'll do it for you. May not be done right away, but I will still do it for you. Um, yeah, just let me know and everything else. And yeah, I mean, have a nice day and keep on shining, guys. And have a good weekend. Bye.